Any questions? First question, Coach, is from Gary Washburn.
Hey, Brad, what happened after the first quarter? It just seemed like the game got kind of mucked up. They stepped up their defense, and it just seemed like after the first quarter, you guys really couldn't get any consistency.
Yeah, I mean, I thought their length affected us defensively. We didn't have much threat at the rim tonight. I thought we tried to get there. It was pretty jammed up, as you saw, and we struggled to finish when we did get there. Like, it was just they deserve a lot of credit. They impacted us on our drives big time. I would say that's the number one thing that I felt, and then the second thing is that it felt like start of that second quarter around there that they could get a good look when they wanted with either Vooch with his back to the basket or some of the actions they were running to take advantage of being double big. So it was difficult. Our guys fought. They gave themselves a chance. We got some good performances by guys that haven't played a lot. Tremont Waters came in and gave us a real lift. And, so hopefully we'll get some guys back on Thursday and, get ready for these last 14 games with a practice on Wednesday.
Matt Fouture.
Brad, some of the late turnovers, was that as much a result of guys that you didn't have, or were you guys, was it something Chicago did defensively, or is it mistakes that your guys are making?
Yeah, it was pretty consistent, the turnovers. That, again, I go back to their length, their physicality. I thought we tried to draw some fouls in there, and to their credit, they just played physical, strong, and solid, and got their hands on some balls, and they did a really good job. Williams is a tough guy to attack. Tyson Vooch with that length there, you have to be able to exploit that and shoot them away from the basket, get them away from the basket, or have threats at the rim. And we did occasionally, but not a ton. And so they certainly deserve credit. As much as we turned it over and we drove into traffic, they loaded up to Jayson all night. They loaded up to Jaylen all night. They made it really tough on those two guys.
Keith Smith.
Brad, how big is it to have the next couple of days without games and to actually get a practice in at this point, considering you've got some new faces that haven't even had that opportunity yet?
Yeah, it's such a balance, Keith, because our guys could really probably use 2 straight days, right? I mean, I think that you got such a balance with the last 5 weeks being what they've been. But we'll practice Wednesday. It'll be, just to the point on what we think we need to get better at, and we'll go from there. And, knock on wood, hopefully we'll have a few of these guys back, and that'll make practice better. And hopefully, we'll be a little bit better.
John Corrales.
Now we saw Tristan Thompson kind of working his shoulder a little bit, and Jaylen kind of in that same area. What's happening with those guys?
Yeah, I don't know what happened with Tristan's. Jaylen just told me he felt his, so he's going to get it looked at right now. I don't know what happened. But it was a physical game. It was a tough game. Again, I give those guys a lot of credit. Temple, Williams, Tice, Vucevic, they were all really physical, and made it very difficult for us on our drives and our rim attacks and even our cuts. They did a good job of getting to our body, and they played really well.
Suichi Terada.
Brad, just wondering what went into that decision to go with Tremont in the start of the fourth, and just how big was he down the stretch?
Well, I mean, you saw we were a little clunky in the first half without a pure point. Tried to play Romeo there a little bit. I don't know if that's in his wheelhouse yet, but he's got to get to the point where it is with his size and, his ability to pass the ball. But, I thought that Tremont with Peyton out would give us the best chance to be organized. And, Tremont's just got a knack. He did not play well in the Lakers game. So he was hungry to play well. And I thought he really lifted us up. And, he got his hands on a couple more balls that could have gone our way too, that would have been huge plays. The one that ended up in a 3 for Temple in the corner, he knocked away. He almost got a steal on that. Got the big steal late. So, I certainly thought he had a good night.
Final question for John Corrales.
You mentioned Romeo needs to get that in his wheelhouse. What did you see from him as the ball handler there? And is that something you anticipate being a big part of his future, being a primary ball handler?
Yeah, maybe a part of his future, John. I mean, we're going to avoid it as much as we can right now, obviously, but just because he's not used to it, he just hasn't played enough games to orchestrate and organize a group. He's just out there still kind of swimming just because he hasn't played a lot. He had some moments today, but you could see there were also some moments where he's just, not as fluid yet. But he did, we will eventually kind of in the Evan Turner mode, I guess. If a guy is going to play around guys like Peyton and guys like that off the bench, Aaron, then, we need him to be a handler because he's got shooting around him, and so I think that's a good spot for him as he continues to grow, but he's not there. He's not quite there yet. You won't see it much in the last 14 games or beyond.
We'll wrap it up right there. Thank you, Coach.
Thank you.